Hey creative friends, welcome to Traci Bautista Color. I am gonna do a few fun little paint techniques using my new Blossoming ink collection. So this is the set of colors. It's a beautiful 4 set that is inspired by the springtime and the buds opening up and unfurling, the beautiful sakura cherry blossoms, magnolia flowers and pods, and there's a couple of different greens. You can actually see some of the swatches down here. Let's bring this up. You can see there's like a little bit of a purple, a really vibrant pink, and I'm gonna just do, actually, I'm gonna drop these in here while this is wet and see how it flows. I've also mixed it with the Ocean Whisper collection watercolors, which creates these like really gorgeous colors with a hint of pink. I'm going to throw the rest inside here. And then now I'm going to grab a little bit of the Lilac Lush ink and do the same thing. And just get those flowing. So these are great for fluid paint techniques. They're great with watercolor, mixing with and painting over acrylics, underneath wax, and they are blendable too. So you'll see I just put the pink and the purple together so I can create another color if I want to, and I'll just kind of make a little flower shape there. And you can see how these are starting to blend together. And I can also then take a little bit of this green. Oh, let's see if I do this one, how it looks. We'll do a little drop of this. So I'm using a different and brand new dropper just so that I get a clean color in here. So we'll put a little of this here and see what happens if it flows. So actually that's really pretty, I like it. And this is on really inexpensive. It's like the very, it's the student grade watercolor, Strathmore watercolor paper. And you can see it buckles just a bit. I love to also use a base like Super Matte Medium by Golden or Absorbent Ground, Pastel Ground. Any of those are really great to experiment with. And then this, I'm gonna play with a little bit of this color. This is Golden Fern. And it reminded me, when I created it, it reminded me of couple of my fern plants have just started growing and have a bunch of new leaf shapes that are coming in, and I love how they unfurl during this time of year. So they start really tiny and then they just start to bloom, and or not bloom, but they start to unfurl and create these really amazing patterns and shapes in the leaves. So this actually is mixing quite a bit with the other color underneath. This is actually a lighter green, which you see down here. The first green I put down is a little bit, has a little bit more of a bluish tint because it actually has blue in it. And this one has a little bit more of a green gold color with a little hint. When it dries, you see a little of that aqua in there, and then you see it kind of mixing here. So we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna actually take another one of my brushes, and I want to bring this together like that. And you can see as it's, like if I pull that back, you can actually see that golden yellow undertone in the ink, which is really, really pretty. And it'll dry like that. Like you can see here, that gold, a little of the green, and then the kind of teal turquoise aqua color. So even if I pull it back with the paper, this is actually a honest baby wipe, you see a lot of that yellow coming in. So really great for foliage, leaf shapes. You could actually use this for floral shapes too, if you wanted a little bit of a yellow and green color in the petals. And you can see how it starts creating this like really vibrant blue when it mixes with the purple. It does get a little bit muddy if you get all three of those colors together, like up here. Not so much muddy, but it creates this like dark brown kind of color. So I'm gonna let that dry, and I'll show you it when it's nice and dry. So I'm also creating these little washes for backgrounds so that I can use them in photographs. Let's do, this has the green in it. So let me just take this and this is normally not the brush I use to paint leaf shapes, but since it has green on it, I just decided to use it. And then you can mix this also with any of my paints and inks. So I have some of the Ocean Whisper watercolor underneath here. So if I was to just clean my brush off on the palette, then I'll have kind of a little bit of that green that gets mixed in. You may not be able to see it so much, but it's there. So if I wanted to take some of this out and like just reuse it instead of putting it onto a paper or a paper towel or a wipe, I could do that. So now I've got that little bit of green mixed in there. And let's see what color we get from that. Little gray, smoky gray, has like a little bit of a green tint to it. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. I can also take a pipette and just kind of grab all the rest of that so that there aren't big like puddles of ink. Okay. So very springtime inspired color palette and beautiful mixing colors. You can see, you basically can get almost the rainbow, except there's no red in this, but from pink to purples to blues, yellows, and greens. I hope you enjoyed a peek inside the Blossoming Ink collection. This is a limited edition collection that was part of my 3-month ink subscription, and I have decided to launch a quarterly subscription for 2024. So if you want to join and get a set of beautifully curated, handcrafted artisanal inks delivered to you each quarter, then click the link in the description to find out more details. Thanks so much for watching. Have fun and spend some time playing in your inspiration sketchbook.